All right, everybody. It's just two jackasses today. How's it going, Ryan?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm all right. Can't complain.
As I tell my doctor, I'm still above ground, so why complain?
Exactly. Oh, so this week, me and Ryan are going to be talking about just probably Patreon stuff because we got a raffle. Stay tuned to the end for that. We'll have the giveaway at the end. And also, we're going to be talking about just the common cards used and what we did this weekend. So, speaking of that, what'd you do this weekend, Ryan?
What did I do? I played a little D&D.
Nice.
Did some housework.
Not so much fun.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, no car work this weekend, so pretty good. Now my neighbor, the fence between our yards, they're redoing that, so I helped them out a little bit with that. So, as I said Joe and I did our Brewers Corner match as well, and there was a joke in there about building a wall. So, yeah,
By the way, that match is we're gonna have it probably shown this Friday, and there'll be a poll in there for you guys.
yeah. Find a comfy chair. That's
Yeah,
all I can say.
yeah. I haven't even watched it all, but yeah, it's quite large.
Yeah.
But, so besides that, just nothing, just chilling out.
Just chilling and relaxing. So,
Sounds good. Sounds good. Those are my
yeah,
kind of weekends.
yeah.
What I did this weekend is play a little Magic the Gathering. Me and Rob went to a pre-release event or two.
Mm-hmm.
We did Two-Headed Giant. Did terribly. That's where you play on the same team against two other people, and we got destroyed.
If I remember correctly, the last time you guys went to a pre-release event, you played some two-headed giant, and you didn't do it very well.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of weird. It's because we're trying to play as a team, and it seemed like the people that did really well, they kind of played their own games and just brought them together and didn't really care what the other person was doing. Just tried to not have the same color with each other. Whereas me, I
Right.
was trying to run protection or do something like that for Rob, and Rob was trying to do protection for me, and we had our own win cons on our team, but nothing really crazy big.
Okay.
But then yeah, we lost every single game. It was terrible. But then
Yeah, but you were still flipping some cards, so you were still having fun.
that's correct. That was really fun. And then me and him did a solo event where you play with your own cards and all that. Uh, Rob ended up towards the bottom, and I took first place. So
Congratulations.
I, when you get actually good cards in the pack in the pre-release kit, it's pretty easy. Just run all night. It's good.
Right.
So yeah, that was my little thing of being proud of myself for winning. So that's all I did, and that and watch the Cowboy game, of course. But yeah, that terrible game.
I don't watch football, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay, all right. Um, so do you want to just jump right into the tournament stuff, or is there anything
Yeah,
else?
let's get into the tournament, get the tournament stuff out of the way. We had a stellar turnout for this tournament. We ended up with 22, and actually we had 23 entrants. Reg uh, stepped out as a first alternate so that no one would have buys.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for that, Reg. What that means is if through the course of the 5 rounds, if someone does have to drop, then Reg is going to take over the teams that they brought, and he's going to continue playing as that person.
He's been pretty good about helping us out with that. So
Yeah.
big thank you to Reg. On honestly, that's really awesome.
Yep. Yeah. So, it's great that we were able to keep the even numbers, so no buys or anything like that. Um, you know, we'll get into teams and card breakouts in a little bit, but talking shop a little bit with you here, and kind of question out to everyone. Do you think the fact that we allowed people to sign up for the tournament without requiring the teams is something that helped us get to the 20 22 23 number? considering the last tournament we had was 16 and I think or 14, and the tournament before that, you know, was around the same as that, you
Yeah.
know,
From the
or was
stand,
it more hassle? I'm just
it's more
trying
hassle
to get
for
some feedback.
us.
Oh, definitely more hassle for me, but I'll definitely take on that extra
Yeah.
hassle to get more people playing.
Yeah, because usually by now I had all the bot entries done to where I could just plug them in and go, and
Right.
that was a whole lot easier. Because I helped you guys post all the team visual portions of it
Well,
because
yeah, we ran into some problems with Brainiac, and so you did step in there and help us with that. I do appreciate that.
yeah.
Um, you know,
But other than
yeah.
that, I think people. It seemed like people forgot until the very last minute to submit their
I
teams.
don't think a lot of it was forgetting. There was a couple that I know forgot, and again, that's why I had the channels, and I was, for
Pinging
those that,
them.
yeah, I was pinging them in those channels, reminding them and stuff like that. Um, and hopefully no one took me as being overbearing or anything on that, and just they were all oh yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I think a lot of them were coming up with team ideas. And my perception from my side, from what little conversations I've had with some people, was the fact that we weren't requiring the teams at sign up allowed people to sign up for it, and then because they were already signed up for it, they felt committed, and so they would build that team. Versus previous ones where you had to have your teams built before you could sign up.
Yeah.
If it got to the last day or two, they're like, I'll just miss this one,
Yeah.
you know. So I'm just wondering, feedback from you or anyone else out there, is that the case?
I mean, I'm a
You know,
weird one in particular because right when I signed up, I
you
pretty
already
much
had your teams day one.
yeah. I mean, because the reason that I did that is because I know that I'm going to look at the because spoiler alert, anyone in CR Game Room could look at any of the teams, but I'm the type of person that'll look at them. It won't influence me, but I didn't want to have any issues come up, so I just submitted my teams right away. Ben doesn't care what anyone else submits at all. Robert doesn't look at Discord.
He's on Discord to either throw up eggplant or taco emotes and join us on the Talking Heads here on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And he does throw out some memes every now and then, but yeah, that's it. Robert doesn't look at Discord for the teams, except for when he's about to play someone. They're like, I guess I should look at their team.
Oh yeah, they posted those. Yeah, let me go look at that before we go play.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that's actually why Robert's not here with us. He's actually having his round one match against Danley right now. So
Yeah.
best of luck to both Danley and Robert there. Also, we've already had 2 matches reported. The first match was reported within 4 hours of us announcing the pairings.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, congratulations to those guys for jumping down that one and getting that done real quickly. So, I think that might be a record for us in one of these tournaments.
The only thing that I can say that's a little bit frustrating for me, and this is just coming into it, coming in, I know I'm only going to have Swiss and there's not going to be top cuts. And it's like, I know that if I don't win this game, I have no chance whatsoever of being in the, winning the thing. And that's frustrating.
But I mean, these are effectively best 2 out of 3. So normally when you have a Swiss with a top cut, the Swiss is one and done.
Yeah.
And it is a lot harder.
Yeah.
Whereas in this scenario, it is a best 2 out of 3. So it does lend itself better to a Swiss only tournament in that regard. So, but again, when we do the invitational, there will be a top cut at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna, for lack of a better way to put it, we're gonna milk that tournament for all it's worth because it's a limited player pool, because it is the invitational.
And it's our big feather in the cap of saying, here's to everyone for playing and showing up and winning.
Our big thank you, and I'm already working on pricing for that one. So
I mean,
we haven't even figured out what pricing for this one is, but I'm looking at pricing for that one because I know that's the big one.
Yeah,
so.
I think we're stockpiling a lot of stuff right now, hoping and praying that we actually can get it in there. And yeah, that's really my only thing is just frustration from knowing that I've got probably my toughest opponent I'm going to have in the tournament first round. Because
And I don't remember who's paired against who.
I'm paired against Laurier round 1.
That's right. That's right.
Number
Good old
2 in the world. I'm playing
Yep.
Laurier first
Yep.
round. Yeah.
Yep.
He isn't playing his fish face combo because he can't, but he has a good team. He has 2 good teams. I think I have 2 decent teams. One is one that I made and I'm really happy with. That I can say, and the other one I'm comfortable with too.
My goal whenever I played in any of the 2-team takedown was to at least always win one match. I never wanted to have a match where I was, the other person was 2-0 against me.
Yeah.
At bare minimum, I wanted every match to be a 2-1.
Yeah.
And if I was winning, I wanted it still to be a 2-1.
Yeah.
I like seeing both teams. I want to see that, all of that going. I want to see all the pairings as best as possible. So the 2-1s were the best matches for me. I just love those, those games.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have 2
They
teams,
take forever.
Yeah. If you have 2 teams that are just like on the accelerator going, there's nothing you could really do about that if you're playing 2 slow teams.
Right.
That have one turn kills, but it takes a while to get there.
Right.
But
so. Well, and speaking of which, I know you've seen the list that I put together, but trying to disregard what you've seen off of it, what did you personally think was going to be the biggest win con we saw in this tournament?
Before I actually saw the list, and I'm looking at it right now, I thought there was going to be a lot of fix-its, honestly.
See, I honestly, I didn't think there was going to be that many fix-its. The one that surprised me is I thought we were going to actually see a little bit more infiltrate.
Yeah.
There's some. I'm not saying that there's not. There's some. But there's, way more of the Yanti pure blood than I expected. Which is, as far as our little sheet goes that we've got looking at the analyzing the teams.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, you're welcome to pull it up. That is the most highest rated individual win con. Now, Hope Summers is actually higher on the list, but I don't call her the win con because she mirrors a half dozen different things.
Yeah.
So it could be an Iceman win con. It could be, a Bishop backup. It could be a Jean Grey. That one can move around quite a bit. The sole focus, Yanti Pureblood is the highest on that one, and that surprised me.
Yeah.
I did not think that one was going to be as high. Of course, it is absolutely no surprise to everyone. The most common card across all 44 teams is Professor X, No More Magnus.
Yeah.
14 of the teams had it on there. So maximum it could have been was 22 teams because it can't 22 players there. So a very large showing on those. You can definitely see Atlas and Mimic borrow talent with that Professor X. Definitely that's the most common ramp engine you're going to see.
Yeah.
A lot more bishops than I figured we would see.
I think with the Green Devil mask out of there, Bishop is a little bit better power wise.
Bishop's good. The fact Scarlet Witch being as high as she is, there with Fish gone and Green Devil, or no, Fish isn't gone. Sorry, or no,
Fish is gone.
Yeah, the Fish is gone. Yeah, so with Fish gone, with Green Devil mask gone, I figured Scarlet Witch would still be seen, but not as prevalent. I figured her, instead of being at 9 out of the 22 possible teams, probably be closer to 6 or 7.
I figured it was going to be about 9 because there's going to be teams where it's like they can't deal with action or ping, and about 9 people would probably want to have her on the team.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think she's about right where she is. If you would have told me it was around about 6 where you thought it was going to be, I wouldn't have thought anything of that either. But I thought
you're not surprised seeing it at the 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised seeing it lower. Higher, I would have been surprised. If it was on every single team, that would have been a surprise.
Hello, Jazzy. How you doing today?
What's up,
Um,
Jazzy? We're talking about Dice Master stuff for a little bit.
yep.
Um,
Rob. As I mentioned earlier, Rob's playing in a match. If he finishes up, he'll be joining us here before if we can if he can finish up his match before we finish. So, but Jazzy, please stay online. We do have the raffle going on later tonight that you do have tickets on.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Another one of the utility that I'm surprised wasn't more, but it kind of makes sense in a way, is Venerable Dreadnought because I think there's a lot of things to shut that down still. And
Yeah, Venerable Dreadnought is actually kind of exactly where I expected him to be.
hmm
Um, Collector is also right where I expected him to be. Um, maybe a little on the low side. I wouldn't have seen him up to 10. Wouldn't have surprised me.
I think if Collector and some of the stuff going along with it make it to Legacy, he's going to be on every team that can be.
If Collector does not get banned in this round, I would expect to see him probably at a 15 to 16 for the next tournament easy.
Yeah.
There's just too many things to pair him with that are still available. You know, that just make him a powerhouse combo.
Yeah, and without some of the things in the meta, it's he's pretty good right now, but he's not overpowered right now. I think there's still some things to keep him from going over the
Yeah,
top.
I think a lot of people shied away from him because they lost Clayface Global.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so
I just think I'm not a big collector guy. Otherwise, I would have run collector. I'm more of like the teams that I ran kind of guy. That's why I ran those. But
if I had been playing in this, I would have been playing
oh,
a collector team. We
I
all know that.
I would have known that. Yeah, before the tournament was announced, I would have known Ryan's probably playing collector.
Playing a collector team. A collector still in it? Yeah, Brian's got one. Um, yeah, I'd probably play collector team, and I'd probably play something similar to the what I played in one big weekend, the bloat drone with venerable dreadnought and black adam with poison ivy.
Yeah,
You know, that was a fun one. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, other than that, there's everything's a fairly even field for everything else. Um, hi Michael, how you doing? So yeah, average globals per team. There's your average going to have two globals per team, and looks like bolt energy, of course, is the most common, which makes some good sense there.
It would be ridiculous to have a team with no energy types.
Well, unfortunately, that's the way the formula works. It ends up with a zero there, so we put the text of no, so you don't just have random zero off in the middle of the sheet. So
And Fist is coming up second. That's kind of not a surprise either. There's a lot of Fist and bolts in the
mask being, I think mask being low is counterintuitive on that. I think if we probably looked at the second most common energy on teams, mask would be the top on the list there.
yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, I mean, I think Mask, most likely you're going to have two or three things on there, especially if you're running the Mimic ramp package.
exactly.
And
If
if
you're
you,
running Professor X mimic, you're just you've got two right there.
yeah, possibly three.
Yeah, potentially a third.
Oh, yeah. Billy Club's not. God, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
Billy
no,
Club.
Billy Club's out. So
Psylocke is in.
yep,
um, so what's the first basic action that we see at the top of the list is misdirection
yep.
for some
So
shenanigans.
yeah, well, a lot of the control pieces are gone,
Yeah,
and so we're going to old school control pieces. You've got you've got your Scarlet Witch, you've got your
Bishop.
Bishop, you've got the Black Widow agent, which I know a lot of people don't consider control. I do.
Yeah,
And then misdirection.
and Mimic,
Um,
the new Mimic.
yeah, the new mimic, flying, blasting, slashing. all of those are control pieces. All of those are in the top 10 on the list. So your top 10 is mostly ramp and control.
Yeah.
Which makes absolutely perfect sense. Um, but yeah, no, other than there wasn't too many other big gotchas.
Yeah.
So there was one ruling interaction that was asked of me before the teams were posted that I did go through. So I will go ahead and cover that one real fast. PK and I chatted about this one quite a bit, and it actually was a team based off of a team that was, I believe, in the Pauper tournament, or not Pauper, the 10-10 tournament um, at Worlds, and the interaction based on talking with PK is different than how it was ruled at Worlds. So specifically, we're talking about the collector with Parasite that targets and copies text.
Oh yeah.
So the way we are ruling it, if you use collector to bring in a Parasite and target the collector with it, of course the collector loses his text. The new Parasite collector has the text. You can then use that again. The hope was to bring in a second Parasite collector and then a third Parasite collector and trigger that until you were out of Parasite dice, then bring in a Norman Osborn and go. The reason it doesn't work the way it was ruled previously is, even though the text is copied, because you're copying the die, not the card, so the card itself is never blanked. The Parasite collector is not changing his name anymore because he's already done it, and he's already used the ability once that turn.
Yeah.
So that's why it's limited. You can collector in a Parasite, and then the Parasite collector can bring in the Norman Osborn. That is perfectly legal, but you cannot bring in multiple Parasite collectors before you bring in the Norman Osborn to boost up the number of villains you have.
Yeah. When that was done talked about at Worlds, I thought that was kind of that was a ridiculous thing where you could keep bringing in Parasites, and I was like, that's kind of crazy. But looking at it as it stands, there's going to be one Parasite collector, and it's done its thing per turn. So
Right.
that would be that's the way I would interpret it
Right.
now.
And the person who was running that team spoke with me before the deadline. We got a ruling back to them before the deadline. They had the opportunity to change their team. They actually did change their team a little bit in between. So this ruling did not influence their team in any way, shape, or form in a negative. They're not impacted with it. They're happy with that ruling. But I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that, because it is a ruling that is different than what it was ruled at Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is something I discussed with PK, and PK and I are both in agreement on how this should be ruled. So
Yeah, and we may not have the same rulings and stuff as WizKids sometimes at
no,
sites.
and if we're wrong, we're wrong.
Yeah.
But we're going to be upfront. We're going to tell you guys what the rule is and why, as best as we can. And this was one of the few that was brought up before the tournament. I did not want to sit and say out, to everyone before the deadline about that, because I did not want people to influence their teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was asked in a private fashion, I answered it in a private fashion.
Yeah.
If it was asked in a public fashion, I would have answered it in a public fashion.
I answered a public thing, and I was right. I'm happy
Yeah.
about that.
I saw that. You answered it before I could sit down. Congratulations, Chris. I'll make a TO out of you yet.
Oh man. Well, I read the card. I responded for the card. Then I found the ruling previously and posted it.
Yep.
So.
Nope, you did absolutely perfect on that one. So congratulations.
I think it was in the middle of a match too. That was crazy.
Yeah, they were in the middle of a match, and so it was important that the answer got out quickly to them. So yeah.
Oh, well, that was my interesting thing with Dice Masters for the week. Oh, man. All right, so what else kind of surprises you about the list?
Honestly, there's not too many other surprises for me on the list. I think I think everything's about what I expected to see out of this.
The
You
only
know,
thing that really surprises me is Mr. Fix-It having two of it, but two different versions, and it's me and Robert with our teams. I have
right?
one version of Mr. Fix-It. He has the other. I have uncommon, the best one, and he has common. Just so everyone knows, mine is the better one. Not really.
You know,
Mine's much slower, longer to develop, but doesn't care about the opponent at all. Robert cares very much about the opponent. So, but yeah, that's the only thing that kind of surprised me, that there wasn't more fix-its. All right, let's go back to us.
all right.
Ah, ah, Transition. There we go. All right, I can transition everyone.
Yay!
So, yeah, everyone, you have to have your matches done by, is it Monday or Sunday?
So what we're asking for is midnight Sunday. Well, basically 12 a.m. Monday to have them done by Central Standard Time, so that we can make sure everything's reported and in the system correctly. Because we've had mistakes in the past, and we want to give ourselves where we're not rushing, get that in there, so that at noon on Monday we can announce round two.
Yeah.
So,
And my
you know,
hopes for the next one, the next legacy, is to have a European division or rest of the world division besides North America and North America. That would be awesome.
that if we could get enough players of each, I would be more than happy to run them as two separate tournaments, and go from there.
Because I,
That would, I know it's a very hard thing to, for a lot of these European folks playing against American folks and stuff like that. Um,
yeah,
so
if
we appreciate everyone's flexibility on it, but that's also why we give a full week to get a match done.
yeah.
You know.
So homework for people in Europe that watch this: if you know someone that loves to play Dice Masters and doesn't know how to play it online, help them get used to it. Help them play it so you guys don't have to worry about our bedtimes and our wake times and our work
Yeah,
times.
and teach them how to play a two-team takedown so that they'll join the tournaments, and so
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know you know here's hoping that we can match the numbers of worlds at one point here.
I mean, we've come close to Worlds numbers previous tournaments.
Right. you know
I think our second or third tournament we had the same amount as Worlds, so that
right.
was kind of like awesome.
Mm-hmm. I want to break it though. I want to get past that number. I don't want to tie it. I want more than.
Let's get 100
So,
people playing, guys. Let's do it. Make it hard for us. Make it as
yeah,
hard as you can.
yeah. Make me have to find people to come in and help me organize this stuff.
If it's too many people, I will drop and help you. So, but yeah, that's something. Force us to have more than just 5 rounds of Swiss or not have a top cut. It would be awesome to have to have a top cut to where it's like we really don't know who has the best team. That's something that we
Right.
want, and
Yeah.
it's not just for our egos or anything like that. This is just because we want more people playing.
Right. I mean, there's the weekly dice arena. There's the weekly dice fight. There's a lot of these other weekly, get your matches and done. And we don't want to compete with those guys.
Yeah.
What they're doing is absolutely fantastic, absolutely great. Um, uh, Ross and I'm drawing a
James
complete
and
blank.
Zach.
Thank you, James and Zach.
And also Team of the Month.
And then there's the team of the month, who does their whole, their tournament all in one day. Kudos to those guys. Absolutely fantastic. I know Joe's already talking about in between Legacy 2 and Legacy 3 running a one-day event, online. So kudos to that, but we can't, I don't see how we can get that large of a tournament, where we're breaking 38 players in a tournament done online in one day.
Hell, with 20 people, I don't see it feasible,
Right.
especially
I
in
mean,
different time
we
zones.
had a hard time doing it in one day live.
Yeah.
It just
For the
it
birthday
is what it
bash.
is.
Yeah, the birthday bash was nuts. Trying to get that all done in one time.
Oh,
And
I'm just talking worlds.
oh
I
yeah,
mean, doing worlds. We had a hard time getting that all done in one day. We were there till 10 o'clock at night, finishing up.
when they were turning the lights off on you guys.
Yeah, pretty much. So trying to do that online, no, thank you. Not in one day. Not for me. To you guys that do it,
Awesome.
I, hats off to you. We're not trying to compete with you guys.
Yeah.
You know,
We technically aren't trying to compete with anyone. We're just trying to have a little fun here in our little corner.
right? We're here to have fun. We're gonna come. Legacies this year's thing. Next year we're gonna have. We're gonna hopefully have some other things. It's not to say that the legacy will never be visited again. It may not. Who knows? But the two-team takedown format will be our continued thing. Just how we flavor it, how we spice it up, whatever you want to call it. That is what we will change in those regards.
Yeah. I've always thought, and it's, I don't know, maybe it's because me, Rob, and a little bit of Steven made the two-team takedown that I think is one of the best formats, but I feel as though it's one of the more fair formats, honestly.
It's a longer format.
Oh, yeah.
It takes more time to play, than other formats and whatnot. No questions about that. But for an online play system, other than trying to do your quick play, weekly Dice Arena or, Dice Fight type events, to me, it's the best online format.
Yeah.
It allows you to have the most cards available because you're having the two teams and you're interacting with stuff in a fairly regular basis. Now, would I love to see it to where we give everyone 2 days? You got 2 days or 3 days to get your matches done and speed up the cycle? Yes. I would love to be able to get to that point. And that's something we could do if we were able to break these up into regional events.
Yeah.
But as it is now, we can't break it up into regional events, reasonably.
I mean, we were developing a play system to get it done, get a whole entire tournament with a 5 Swiss and a 3 round to the championship. We were talking about trying to get that done in a month's time, and we were trying to work out the math, and it actually worked out. But except for the fact it's different regions, different everything.
We had to give everyone a weekend time slot because we couldn't limit their time zones. And we can't ask people to give up 4 nights a week to play online to compete in a tournament. That's just
nuts.
Unrealistic of us. So as it stands, we're kind of left with the 1 week per round format, so everyone can get their matches in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
So I don't remember how we've gone down this tangent. I'm sure I'm the one who created it. So.
Well, let's just go off on a different tangent now. What do you want to talk about now?
Well, I don't have much else to talk about other than the big ticket item for the night, which is the Patreon raffle. So.
Do you want to talk about how the prize is going to be picked?
So yeah,
it's cut off right now. No one else can vote right now. You're done.
Yeah. No. Well. The everything's closed on it. You can't enter it. Right now. You had to enter before October 1st. And we took the entries there. So again, just as a reminder, for this month only, as this was the first one we did. Whatever tier level you are, so tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, you got that many entries into the raffle. Okay? So, we have one person with 1 ticket, a lot of people with 2 tickets, one person with 3 tickets. Now, I've put all those in. I've got a little wheel. We'll bring that up and we're going to spin that. I additionally put up a poll with, we talked about a couple different pricing options we had. I put up a poll and had everyone vote.
You gonna go to that right now?
Yeah. And so what I've done is I've actually got the results. I know individually who voted for what on every one of those. And so whatever name is picked, whatever winner that is, what item they voted for is what they are going to win.
And here you see it. Here's the options that we had. So AVX Black Widow card set, common, rare, and super rare. Team packs, no one picked that. That's kind of surprising.
Well, actually that doesn't surprise me too much. A lot of these everyone has the team pack at least one, so that I could see that one not being voted for with the other options that we had out there.
True.
Not saying it was a bad option, just with the other options available there.
Yeah.
I could understand that one.
And miscellaneous foil promos. Yeah, it's just miscellaneous promos. So.
Yeah, I mean, I showed Chris the stack of foil promos I've got on my desk here. We will definitely make that one work for whoever, voted for that one if they win.
Well, so. I think I think it's me and Rob that voted for that one as a block.
I can double check who voted for what, but I'm not saying. I'm leaving that one for myself. Yeah.
I mean, people can see that it's me. Like I have it highlighted where I picked it. So
you're right. You see, everyone can see what you voted for. That's not a big issue there.
And then we also had signed alt art per Professor X, signed by Jimmy, Eric, and Mike, and not CR Game Room. So it's worth more without us signing it.
I mean, if you want me to sign it, I'll be more than happy to sign it, but I don't see how that would increase the value in any way, shape, or form.
I think that goes for anything that anyone wins. If you want us to sign it, we will take the effort to sign it. Ben's going to be a little bit harder to get to sign it because, the Canadian aspect of it.
Yeah.
But we'll try to make it work. And then custom 3D printed tournament case. I don't have it right next to me. I think it's stowed away somewhere, but...
I've got one on my desk here. If you want to cut the camera back to me, I can show it off.
Right.
So
back to you.
All right. So it wouldn't have, it would have whatever logo you want on it. If you've seen me play, you realize I'm Doctor Who themed on mine. So that's that. So it opens up. It's got 2 trays that hold up to 30 dice each. So the whole thing will hold 60 dice. And then it's got a space in the bottom to hold 2 teams worth of cards. So it's the entire thing will easily hold 2 teams with everything you need to play those 2 teams.
And a 2-team takedown.
Which is perfect for a 2-team takedown. And
okay. Someone gave Ryan the keys. And then the last one is other comment in Discord. No one selected.
No one chose that one. No one commented with what they wanted to win. So that team pack in that one.
You dreamers didn't use your imagination on that one.
No, you could have held me to the stones on that one.
The whole entire time Ryan's like, I hope they don't have imagination. I should have picked it and said the Mona Lisa. Oh right. So it's closed. You can't vote anymore. Or even if you do vote now, it's we're taking what we have now.
Yep.
All right, going back to us.
So one of the other things, as you saw with Chris sharing out his screen, Chris is a Patreon of us. Robert is a Patreon of us. This is their way of helping support us. But I didn't feel that was right, that they had an opportunity to win a prize that we're giving out.
My vote would have gone differently.
Hence the reason I didn't give you a vote. But I didn't want to take their raffles out. I didn't want to take their tickets out of the pool. So instead, I made Chris and Robert tell me who they wanted to gift their raffle tickets to. And so Robert's not here to speak on his behalf, but Chris, I will let you speak for both of you.
So me and Robert we actually had a little bit of a discussion, probably about 30 or 40 minutes of getting into this because we wanted to be as fair as we possibly could. And really, I feel as though sharing it with as many people as we possibly can, but also recognizing who's been there the longest. We each shared one of our raffle entries with Michael Ingledew, one of us each, so Michael gets an additional 2, and Jocelyn. Jocelyn gets an additional 2 because they've both been the Patreon followers The longest.
They were the first two to sign up, and we honestly can't tell who signed up first between the two of them because that's how quickly both of them signed up to support us. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You
So
know.
you're gonna go with the missed foil promos unless Ryan doesn't take that at all.
And Jazzy, I know you're not a Dice Master player, okay? Now you did vote, and I'll be more than happy to provide you with that prize. But I do have other hobbies. I do woodworking. So reach over here. One of the things I make wood and acrylic pens and whatnot. So and I'll reach out to you and talk to you if you win. If you want something like that or something along those lines, we will be more than happy to accommodate you. Again, thank you very much for your support. But again, you're not a Dice Master player.
We don't expect you to just.
We don't expect you to want one of these prizes. So, So, all right. I guess I should go ahead and share out my screen and get this over with, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
We've hyped it up enough here.
And if we're done early, we're done early.
Yeah, I think.
Did you just lag out? Oh no, he just lagged out. Oh no. Well, everyone, you just have me for a second until Ryan comes back. Let's see.
I somehow lost. Okay, somehow or another, Discord crashed on me when trying to share out my screen. So let's try this again.
Turn off your camera, then turn. Okay, there we go. And you can also see who the last person in our thing that we were talking about.
The one that we've hidden. True Mr. Six. Thank you. You have actually joined us on this one. We thank you. You have your one entry, so you can see here on the list of everyone's. Oh, how did that happen? There we go. Sorry, got that back. We've got everyone's names here, and so I'm going to Chris. How many times should I click the shuffle button? 4. All right. So we've shuffled up the names. They're in a completely random order. No random order. It's late. I haven't had enough caffeine. So, I unfortunately have my audio turned off, so you guys are not going to be able to hear the fun audio this makes. So, Chris, would you like to give us a drum roll? Jocelyn, you are a winner.
She did not need our help at all. She's taking the win by herself.
She won with one of her tickets. So
nice to see that me and Robert didn't contribute anything. What did Jocelyn pick?
Jocelyn picked. She picked the 3D printed tray, the tournament case. So, Jocelyn, I will message you, and we will coordinate, and we will get that taken care of for you. All right. So again, thank you.
This us doing the tournaments, it'd be very much harder, much so harder without the Patreons because we were doing it out of our own pocket, and we don't mind that. It's just it's rough. I'll just say that, especially with shipping.
Shipping these prizes out is just
the worst.
Infeasible when we're talking about European and Canadian, and the
Anywhere.
shipping fees can get insane very quickly. And like I said, we've got some ideas brewing for the future here. So thank you all. Jocelyn. I always have to make sure I pronounce the name correctly, especially now.
You did it so wrong for a whole entire weekend. Why start now?
Hey, no, I corrected myself on Saturday. It was Saturday on, I was good.
Oh, man. All right.
So, all right. Well, that's all I've got.
That's all I got.
So I guess we're done.
Absolutely. So if you want to be part of the next raffle that we have, just join the Patreon and you could be part of it too. And this Patreon doesn't go to us for just us keeping it. It goes for tournaments and giveaways and stuff like this,
Yep.
like you just saw.
All of the money that has come in is still in there. You know, it has not gone to anything yet. You know, we've got
Shipping for
Jesco's. Yeah, we've got Jesco's prizes collected. We need to ship that out to him. So Rob's got all of that. As soon as he tells me how much the shipping is, I will get that money over to Rob so he can get that shipped out. Jocelyn, once we figure out, what you want on it and it's printed and I ship it out, we'll pull it out. We'll ship that out. The next tournament will probably not be until November, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
Because again, we only do the raffles for months which we don't have a tournament running, because otherwise the money for the Patreon goes to support the pricing for the tournament itself.
Yeah.
So that's why we had one for this month, because the month of September we did not have an active tournament running up until like the last 3 days, and that doesn't count.
And plus, tournaments did get pushed back a little bit, so we actually show that this one's going to be ending on the 21st of this month. That's not possible. That's not going to happen.
No. It got pushed back because of Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we originally made our schedule, Worlds had not been announced or anything like that.
And we weren't going to Worlds. So.
And then things changed. I was about to say, unfortunately. No, fortunately, things worked out. We were all able to go.
Yeah. So it's probably going to be later November rather than early November. So look for that.
Yep.
So. That means we may have a raffle in.
It may be December.
Yeah.
Actually, you're probably right. It'll be December that we'll have the raffle.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
So anything else? Ready for the outro?
I'm good. I'm good. So again, thank you to everyone for supporting us and for sticking in with us through this, and to all those participating in the tournament, best of luck to you.
Yeah. All right. Whatever.
You're in the tournament.
I know.
Good luck.
I'm probably not going to do that well. Let's be honest.
Hey, you got to have better faith in yourself.
I do. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next week.
That's going to wrap things up for us here in the CR Game Room. Check out our website, crgr.rocks, for all our latest info. There you'll find a link to help support us via Patreon. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Join our conversations on Discord. Be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for hanging out.